Blackbeard. Even his name sends a chill through pirate history. His real name was Edward Teach, though some records list him as Edward Thatch. What made him unforgettable was not just what he did, but the terrifying image he created. With a long black beard braided into thick strands and slow-burning fuses tucked under his hat, he appeared like a roaring demon rising from the smoke of battle. But behind that fire and fear was a clever, strategic man who shaped one of the most dramatic chapters of Caribbean piracy. Let's take a journey across the Caribbean to see how Blackbeard rose from an ordinary sailor to the most feared pirate of his time. Our story stretches from England to the pirate Republic of New Providence to the coastlines of the Carolinas. Edward Teach was likely born around 1680 in Bristol, England, one of the busiest port cities of its day. Ships came and went constantly, and it was here that young Edward learned the rhythms of the sea and the opportunities waiting beyond the horizon. He first served as a privateer during Queen Anne's War, attacking enemy ships on behalf of the British Crown. When the war ended, many privateers suddenly found themselves out of work, and the line between privateer and pirate began to blur. Teach arrived at New Providence in the Bahamas, the legendary pirate republic filled with outlaws, runaway sailors, captured ships, and taverns where plans were whispered. Here, he joined Captain Benjamin Hornigold, one of the leading figures in the region, and quickly proved himself to be brave, skilled, and reliable. Pirate crews had their own rules and surprisingly democratic systems. Captains were often elected, every man received a share of the loot, and each crew member had a vote in important decisions. Teach learned how pirate alliances worked and how a strong reputation could win battles before they even began. Everything changed in 1717 when Teach helped capture a large French slaving ship named La Concorde. Seeing its potential, he took command and transformed it into a floating fortress. He renamed the ship Queen Anne's Revenge and fitted it with up to 40 guns and a crew of nearly 300 men. With this powerful vessel under his command, Edward Teach became the pirate the world would remember as Blackbeard. He understood the power of appearance. Before battle, he wove slow-burning fuses into his beard and lit them, surrounding his face in thick smoke. He wore a wide coat with pistols strapped across his chest. Sailors who saw this fiery figure often surrendered before a single shot was fired. Terror was part of his strategy, and it worked. In 1718, Blackbeard carried out one of the boldest actions in pirate history, the blockade of Charlestown in South Carolina. Alongside his fleet, he captured vessels entering and leaving the harbor, stopping trade entirely. Panic spread onshore as important passengers were held aboard his ship. Instead of demanding gold, Blackbeard asked for medical supplies. After days of tense negotiation, the medicines were delivered and the captives were released unharmed. Soon afterward, Queen Anne's Revenge ran aground on a sandbar near Ocracoke Inlet. Some say it was an accident. Others believe Blackbeard deliberately wrecked the ship to reduce his crew and keep the best loot for himself. Whatever the truth, the loss of his flagship did not end his career. Blackbeard accepted a royal pardon from Governor Charles Eden and spent a short time living quietly in the town of Bath. But a pirate's habits die hard, and he soon returned to the sea aboard a smaller, faster vessel named Adventure. His renewed activities angered the colonies, especially Virginia, whose governor sent Lieutenant Robert Maynard to hunt him down. Maynard commanded 2 small naval sloops and sailed for Blackbeard's anchorage at Ocracoke Island. On November 22, 1718, Blackbeard met Maynard in a fierce and bloody battle. Blackbeard boarded Maynard's ship, expecting an easy victory, but Maynard had hidden most of his men below deck. At the right moment, they rushed out and close-quarters combat erupted. Blackbeard fought with astonishing endurance, but he was eventually overwhelmed after sustaining numerous wounds from pistols, swords, and cutlasses. His death marked the end of his reign, but the beginning of his legend. Today, Blackbeard remains one of the most iconic pirates of all time, remembered not only for his battles, but for his mastery of fear, reputation, and strategy. His story lives on in books, films, and Caribbean folklore, reminding us how the sea can turn ordinary people into figures of myth and memory.